Welcome back, everyone. This bonus video is directly linked with the complete guide to farming in 7 days to die. If you're joining us for the first time, go ahead and click that link right up there to watch that video. It's going to have a lot of background information. This bonus information is going to talk about your light source for your underground farms and the obstacles that could be created with objects in your world or walls and things like that. Generally, you wouldn't have to worry about it, but we're going to talk about it to get a little bit better understanding of the physics of the light going on here. So basically what we had before is 4 high, light source is 4 high. It's going to grow out 4 spaces. So we'll just show that off real quick here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you cannot grow on the 5th spot. So over here we went ahead and punched a hole 4 high, but this time our light source isn't coming straight down and in. There's a little overhang here. So just to get a sense of what that's going to do for you, we'll go inside here and you can see very easily it changes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You can no longer grow 4 out, even though our hole is 4 high, just like it is over there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So because of this overhang, that changes the dynamics a little bit. So we'll go ahead and add another one there. 1, 2, and we lost another spot. So we'll go ahead and add another. And I'm predicting we'll be down to 1 at this point. 1. We could still do 2. See, I haven't done this myself yet either, because the mechanics are really strange if you really start playing around with them. So 1, 2. So it looks like we're forever at 2. And my theory on that would probably be we had 2 of these coming out. And so it... Welcome back. This is a bonus video directly linked with your complete guide to farming in 7 days to die. If you're just joining us, I recommend clicking up above and going over to that video, because that's going to have some good background information. Or else what we're talking about at this moment is how your different obstacles in your world might affect your light source when you're trying to grow indoors or underground. So over here we had 4 high, you would be able to grow 4 out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th you can't grow. So over here, what we're going to demonstrate is if you had some kind of overhang. So we have a 1 block overhang, and we'll see how that affects it. Now we are 4 blocks high once again over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we should be able to grow 4 out. 1, 2, 3, and we can't. We cannot grow 4 out, simply because we added a 1 block overhang. Now these side blocks aren't going to affect this at all because it's all about the light coming down, but this overhang is blocking that. So we're down to 3. So we'll go ahead and add another block here and you can see what happens. 1, 2, no, we weren't right on it. So 1, 2, we could only grow 2. So we went down another one just by adding another block. So we're 2 blocks away from the edge now. We're going to go ahead and add a 3. Now with 2 blocks we're able to still grow 2 away at 4 high, but 1, 2, we could still grow 2 ahead. So you guys all thought we were going to go down the 1, didn't you? So just to show, we'll go out again. And you're starting to get an idea that after so far, 1, 2, that it does not matter, because we do have light coming in from the other sides, and that's what's going on here. So we'll just put another one out just so you can see that nothing strange is going to happen the more we put out. 1, 2. So we're still at 2. So let's go ahead and remove some of these blocks. And we're going to bring it all the way back down to 1. And just to demonstrate that the light is also coming from the other sides, and just to prove that these blocks aren't affecting us at all, let me go ahead and move some of these. I just want to show that we were one away. Alright, so now we have a second block. So we're going to go inside, and remember, when we're down to one block, it reduced us down to 3. So now we're at 1, 2, 3. So we're still at 3. Watch this. Go ahead and pop another block in on this side. 1, 2, 3. So our light source is unhindered so far. So we're going to pop another row on. 1, 2, we're down to 2 as predicted. All right, 1, 2, and now we're down to 1. So even though at this point we were still at 2, we never got below 2. At this point, because we have it a little bit wider going out, we lost it. So you can see how your light source starts to get influenced depending on how far around an obstacle it has to go. So that kind of gives you an idea for an overhang. And that doesn't have to be just an overhang. Say you wanted your light source to be directly from above, but maybe you wanted a design where you kind of did some kind of, you know, neat overhang thing to kind of cover it up. Maybe it's a design element, maybe it's a function element, maybe you just kind of wanted to further hide your light source. So we completely covered it up. So we have light coming in the sides for the most part. We'll go ahead and cover this up. Now traditionally our ceiling would give us 8 spaces. So let's make sure we line this up. And we have 0 because of how much we've covered it. So even though the light is coming in the side, it completely covers it. So you want to be careful of all that. Now obviously you can make all this, you know, you could pop holes or build this out of something that light could go through, and you'll be just fine, because as long as light could go through it, you're good. Especially if it's your different blocks that allow 100% light through, you'd still be good to go. So you do want to be careful as you're blocking. So we'll go ahead and pop one of those out and see if that changes anything for us. So as you can see, it doesn't. So you would expect that the light, because the light is going in from the sides a little bit, you would get something, but you do not. So you do want to be careful as you're constructing. But when you do have the light coming in, you have certain things you could do. So here's our centerpiece here. So we'll just kind of show you in this row right here. So that's our 8th spot right there. So as we know, these frames are not blocking our light source at all. So we'll go ahead and put one block there. So now the light's coming in and going across the ground. Might help to punch a hole in the wall. How about in the ceiling? That might help. So right here. And then we'll show where that light source goes. So we're fine. We're still not hindering our blocks at all. So 1 high obstacles, you're fine. Go ahead and add another block there. And now you can see we reduced it by 1. Now similar with your 1 block outside, we're not really, now we're down to 2. Go ahead, pop another on there. And we're just down to 2. So just like outside, we're only reducing our grow length by 2. And we'll just go up a little higher just to show you guys it's no longer, we're still just reduced by those 2. We can still grow to there. We're no longer hindering our growth. Now I'll go ahead and pop in another obstacle. So now we have a second obstacle. And we're still just reduced by 2. Now if you remember, the higher we got, that's when we started reducing it. But see, we're still not reduced. It's still playing off of those. That's what's primarily reducing us. So we'll pop another one on there. Still 2. So at this point, we were reduced down. So we're going to go ahead and pop on some more. And as you can see, we can still grow to there. It's only dependent on 1 blockade. So whatever the maximum it could grow with 1, even if you have stuff in front of it, you're still going to grow 2. Now, you could start ruining this by adding some of your blocks next to it. So right now our light source is still going around it okay. But if we go to this side, we're actually going to ruin this by making the light source too thick. Similar to like out here when we started to build it 3 wide, we were able to reduce it down to 1 growth. Over here, we have reduced our growth down, so we can no longer grow there. So we're going to go ahead and remove this guy right here so you can see how far back we are. Because as we know, this guy isn't influencing it. It's just the main blockade that's going to affect it. So now we're all the way back to here just because we built it. So you get an idea that light goes around objects as much as it goes over objects. And it doesn't really matter your additional blockade. So we could grow up to there. So if we build this exact same structure right here, we should be completely fine. So we'll go ahead and build this up. Exactly the same, just so you have a sense. And we should be able to grow directly in front of it still. Because it doesn't matter how many objects are blocking it. It just matters the minimum distance it could grow based off of 1 blockade. It doesn't matter if we repeat that blockade. So when you're placing objects around or walls, understand that it doesn't matter how many blockades there are. Just the minimum that the 1 blockade does. So if we have this blockade here, it doesn't matter what we have behind it even. That's always going to be the main deterrent. So we could build this structure over here. Let me get rid of some of these blocks here. So we could build this structure over here. And we can see we can see that we can only grow up to this point right here. It doesn't matter what we have going on back here. As long as the 1 deterrent is the main factor, it does not matter what we do back here. Unless what we're doing back here pushes it beyond the point of what it could grow up here. Whatever is the maximum. So we have an interesting shape going on here. We added this block here. That's really what caused it. Go ahead and move that, and we'll be able to grow back out a little bit. Yeah, because we're growing there before. It's this block too, because we built a little bit higher. This is the block that reduced us. So now it's going to go back to the rules for this guy right here, and we can build back out to here again. So that kind of gives you an idea of the mechanics behind all this. We'll go ahead and remove some of these guys again. That kind of gives you an idea of the mechanics on how it's blocking it. Usually I wouldn't say you would have to worry about this, because I think it would be kind of foolish to kind of incorporate some of this stuff, because you really want to maximize your farm space anyways. But if you did have to put something down here, that gives you an idea of how light's working. And there's a lot of other ways you could experiment with it, see exactly how far you could push it. But really it's going to come down to you know, a situation by situation, depending on how you decide to build your base. So there's a quick overview of how obstacles could affect your light source. So if you have any questions, let me know. If there's anything else you want us to try, those are pretty much the basics. Obviously, you could try things like, you know, can it come down and then go under, and things like that. So that's you kind of get really crazy with it. So mostly it comes down to whatever you plan on doing with your base. Test it out first. Make sure it's gonna work if it involves your farm. But ideally, you just want the light to come in and you want to fill your whole space. That's the most efficient way to farm. No reason to make things difficult. It's not going to be functional that way anyways. You want the farm to be open so you can pick it quickly. So that's pretty much it. That's a kind of a quick overview for some of the obstacles that will get in your way. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Go ahead and like this video. Hope you enjoyed the rest of the farming guide. If you still haven't jumped over there to check it out, check it out. It is your complete guide to farming in 7 days to die. Even your most advanced players do not know this information. So go ahead and like that video, comment below. Please subscribe for more of these videos and more Let's Play videos. Until next time, keep surviving. This is Kruxn. Catch you next time.